Okay, so let's talk about forms. So we've talked about how we would prefer to use forms for inputting data as opposed to putting it directly in the tables itself. Why is that? For a few good reasons, one of which is human error. The more that we can do to prevent human error, the better. And when you're directly inputting anything into your database, you're basically introducing unnecessary risk. And you've seen so far that even with SQL, that like every little misclick of the keyboard, you meant to capitalize this, yada yada yada, can cause major trouble in your queries. You can make the same silly little mistakes in your tables, but unlike Microsoft Word and all these like more supported programs, a lot of times you can't delete, you can't back up, you can't, there's no undo button in these databases. So we really, really, really need to pay attention to eliminating or at least reducing human error. The other thing is that if you're inputting data directly into tables, you can only put it into one table at a time. And that can be kind of problematic. At the very least annoying, but actually problematic sometimes. So if you're thinking about, this is the Northwind database. This is one of our bigger ones. And you can see that it actually comes pre-populated with a bunch of forms, which is kind of cool. So you can get a lot of great examples of what this could look like, at least in Access. I apologize for the Libre folks that you don't really have as many good examples built into the databases there. So sorry about that. It's one of those things. But you can see, so something like the products table. If you wanted to add more products to this, you can see that this belongs to a one-to-many relationship, which means that it has a supplier ID. If you try to input this without a supplier in there first, it's not going to let you because of this one-to-many relationship. So you get caught in the facts of the database when you're trying to input the data. If you try to input data into the wrong table first. So if we have a form that can do a bunch of things all at once, it kind of eliminates these errors. And so let's look at what some of these forms look like really quick. So we can look at the order form as an example. So here we are, we get a lot of information here actually from a bunch of different tables, which is kind of cool. So this isn't to add in new like new customers or anything like that, right? So you have a drop-down list of all of the customers from this customer table. So this one, when you click it, automatically pulls up their address, their shipping information. For this order, you can tell, okay, I'm not Nancy, I'm Janet, right? And then we're going to change the shipping. We want to do shipping speedy for this one. The product, we're doing ravioli this time. So you can see we can change the order information on this. But there's a lot of safety features built in, right? Because you can't just type in IHOP, right? Like it's refusing to work because it's not part of the list. So the safety measures in there to make sure that you're not doing anything that doesn't make sense. It's pulling from multiple tables. You've got customer information, you've got product information in there. See, that's the unit price and all that kind of stuff. We've got some of these connecting table bits in there as well. Got shipping information going on. think. We've got order IDs being created with this. So we got all sorts of things going on in this one form. So that's why forms are powerful. So when you're thinking about your forms for your project, you don't want to be thinking about it as, okay, I need to create one form to just input the supplier information. You want to be thinking about how would I be pulling up or creating information in my database. So looking back at this, power of forms. You have multiple tables on one place. You can have advanced business rules in there, just embedded in a way that we haven't been able to do with just SQL yet. You can think in a UI, user interface mindset to think about what is going to be easiest for the user to do. And you do things with automation on like doing the math or the drop-down value menus and all that kind of cool stuff. So that is why we like forms. They take a little while to engineer and build, but once you get them in there, they're so useful.